Episode 5 on the No Limit Sports Podcast. My name is Drew Crosby. I got my partner with me, Kiari Schuler, and our head analyst, Sports Plug Dom. None other than Mark Davis to follow with WTKR. And we want to talk about a few things today. I know we heard a few things about some new rules coming out in VHSL, and we come to find out they actually aren't new rules. They just want to, tidy up on them and kind of reintroduce those things. You guys heard about it?
Yeah, the VHSL, I know, talked in May, beginning of May, they had a vote on transfer rules, and I checked with the VHSL. The only real new rule out there is for 8th grade transfers, but as far as high school, it sounds like they're just going to reinforce. They voted to reinforce, shore up the language for the rules that were already in place, just to make sure everybody was kind of playing on the even playing field. So that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, so those VHSL, so like you said, they were trying to tidy up on a few things. It really comes in the wake of the Hayfield decision. They were suspended. It was talks that they had 30 transfers. I think it really ended up being 14. But these are rules that the VHSL, it's kind of like, I guess, just open their eyes up and they want to just come back and reiterate some things. I was talking to the guys, and I was when I had gotten into school, like the VHSL seemingly has been a little bit lenient with these rules now. Because when I was in school, I went into high school, Kickintan, shout out the Warriors. I went into school in 2009. I was out of zone. I was on for Phoebus, but I ended up going to Kickintan. But I actually had to sit out my first year because I was out of zone.
Football?
And that football, I was a football player, yes, sir. They made me, I was in a way. I didn't really understand at the time, but I was forced, to sit out. And it's just, I don't know where we've gotten from there to here. It seems like players have the ability, like in the NIL world, to just go wherever they want to, but the VHSL, they're trying to, tidy up those gray areas and just make things, make the terminology just plain and clear of what you can and cannot do when it comes to, transferring. And so it's affected, it's affected the playing field. We talked about Hayfield, but it's not just football in which that's affected. It's, baseball and basketball too, but being that football rosters are bigger and it looks like a lot more, even though it's really when it comes to the percentage of players that are coming in, it's really not more. VHSL, they decided to crack down, and now we see they coming and they're just making it plain, and so I think that's what we're seeing now. So
again, just to add to that, while I think these things have been going on for quite some time now, whether it was, just for academic reason or opportunity reason or, just a fresh start. Many people have, different takes on what transfers look like. And I kind of wanted to talk about that tonight. Not, not the crazy debate, but I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on that. Are you for transfers or are you kind of against it and what that looks like?
Me, I'm not really against it unless it's like a whole school team going to another school team and leaving the other school they just left dry. I mean, other than that, just like how youth orgs is, like coach can take all his kids and go to another org and leave that other org high and dry. I'm not sure it's not that bad on the high school level. I feel like the same teams have been winning for years anyway, since like early 2000s. It's not too big of a difference. I mean, other than the coaching staff changing and people retiring, I mean, the winning coaches always stay just like at a Phoebus and a Maury and, other schools just like that. I mean, the winning's always been there. And I think the transfer thing, it's not going to make too much big of a difference other than I do see some high schools who really don't get that much participation in sports getting more participation, which would be good. And it can even the playing field in a way. It can, which would be good. So, but at the same time, I don't think there will be a dramatic difference.
Yeah, so here we go, right? I think that's an interesting point you brought up, Key, about hey, could schools that don't have participation get some more participants? Although I just don't see people wanting to transfer to those schools.
Yeah. Yep.
I personally think in the public school system as it's set up today, and I also want to preface this by saying that the four of us are not speaking with any program in mind.
Yeah,
we're not. This is not taking shots at anybody. This is just simply, something that's happened recently that we're discussing that impacts our community. I personally don't think you should be able to transfer public school-wise unless you live in the zone. I think that has to be the main thing, because what this does in a public school system is open a waterfall that you can't stop, because you can't just limit it to football or sports, right?
Right.
So, for example, let's start with the most simple one, right? So let's say my kid plays, I'm a taxpayer, right? My tax dollars go to my local school. my kid plays shortstop for the baseball team, and he has, worked hard, has been back up to a stud for his first 3 years, and now it's his time to shine. Somebody from another city comes in, doesn't move there, but comes on in and takes his spot. I think 6 to 7% of athletes in high school go on to play in college. So I don't think you can build rules just for those 6 or 7% of people. I think in public high school, it has to be for everybody. And you have to teach some of these lessons about winning and losing. And hey, sometimes you're not going to get everything that you want, right? I want kids to succeed, and the exposure comes from, even if your school's not maybe the best school at football, you guys have been talking about all the camps you've gone to and the college days. The exposure's there if you're a good player.
It's building.
And I think, there's always an example in any sport or any activity of somebody getting a raw deal. But, it's also part of life, right? I want kids to be able to succeed. It's just one of those things where, if you want to move to the zone, then move to the zone and go to that school, right? If you want to move 4 times in 4 years to go to a different school, then do it. That's fine. Or private schools there too, right? That's what the private schools are there for too. That carries a financial, weight, I grant you. But I just think in a public school setting, you just can't allow kids to just go anywhere they want to, because then, like we were talking about off camera a little bit. Okay, so now we open, can I do it for band? Can I do it because this school is the closest to where I work and I want to drop my kid off? It's easier. If I homeschool my kid, can I just send them anywhere I want based on that? You know what I mean? So I just think the regulation has to be there in some way, to keep it an even playing field and to keep it fair for the everybody, or as many as they can, and not just for the kids who are going to go play in college.
Yeah, the VHSL, it seemingly has become, just lenient. And you said something. You said, we'll see players, possibly go to, the schools that don't get as much attention. We're doing our best to, make sure that everybody is getting that attention. But you don't typically see that. It's always the big name is going to the. At least you're not seeing like somebody commit to a team that was 0-10.
Well, can I interrupt you to tell you guys do a great job with that? Like honestly, like seriously, the reels that I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you pick things back up. But when you said
that's
that,
our aim.
Like nowadays with the exposure and with social media and like you guys, folks, who are doing similar things, the exposure. I mean, I don't think exposure has ever been bigger for kids. Anyway, I took your time on the floor. I yield back.
We're gonna thank you for that. But you don't see the kids typically going to a 5-and-5 program. You see them going to to get more opportunities because they think it's something in your mind where and it probably is a thing of the past. We're trying to make it a thing of the past, but going to the bigger school that has all the looks and all the names and all the accolades, you're going to be seen there. But it's very possible for you to be seen. If you stand out on the 0-10 team, you'll get to school, no matter the case, all you do is have to commit and, try your hardest and give your all on the field, the baseball field, the court, whatever it is. And I think that one thing that you just hit on, it's not teaching anybody the lessons of how to overcome adversity when you transfer, to the winning side. The winning side could be your side if you, keep your head down and, decide to propel and use the gifts that you have and the resources that you have to keep it forward. Now, granted, we know that all resources aren't the same, across the state, even across our area. But, we're working, we're partnering, the best we can. And I feel like most of the school districts are doing the best they can to make that an even thing. But, it's continuing to get there. And I just think as the field of sports in Virginia, we continue to work with each other. That's something that we'll be able to get to. And, with these rules now, they're not new, but they're reiterating them. We're going to see how it affects sports in the area. And so I just think that I don't know what side I take on the transfer rule yet. I kind of like.
Well, hey, you don't need to,
it's
right?
good.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think everyone's on the side. They want kids, and there are extenuating circumstances. Not every circumstance is the same. We talked about the specialty centers at different high schools that some kids get accepted to, and everything like that. I'm of the personal belief, and again, I can't reiterate enough that I'm not taking a shot at any program. I don't have the knowledge to even speculate as to who might be doing it, who might not be. I wouldn't even turn that rock over. Okay, but I'm just saying. I think in a wide range, I don't think in a public school system that's funded by taxpayer money, that's so much different than college where you get a scholarship or you're paying to go. I think you have to have some sort of regulation where you're not pulling off the faucet that you can't put back on. That's all I'm saying.
No, I think it's you're absolutely right. And when we get in these conversations of being on the plus side or the negative side of transfers, I think after talking for so long over this same subject, I think it's one of those subjects where you will have a lot of advantages and disadvantages on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about specifics of it, when we talk about giving that band member the same opportunity an athlete does, or when we talk about like him, that kid having to move. At the time when it wasn't really based off of sports, but he just had to move, period. Or, if we talk like just the specifics anyway, when we talk about it, I think it's always going to be a question of what if, or if this happens, or while this is going on, what will we do then? So I think the VHSL, again, just like we said before, are trying their best to just keep it, maintain it, of course, and give it some regulation. While we talked a little bit earlier off camera, and you say, hey, at the end of the day, they're letting us know that they're cracking down on it, but it still looks like that people could still do the things that they do if they wanted to, and I think that's very much so true. But on the same side of it, I think they're going to be efficient at cracking down on those things, but also again. It's always going to be a what if, and it's always going to be a situation that differs from this one, whether it's a big problem or a little one. There's always going to be something that I guess causes for this to be a recurring conversation.
Sure, sure.
As a coach, I'm looking at it because it gets a little gray, right? Because you have, I've heard other people talk about it, but Liberty Christian is in the public sector, the VHSL. They play, in the
That's
VHSL.
One that I hadn't even thought of.
And they get to do the transfers and they get to do the recruiting. But other teams, when they do the same exact things, it all of a sudden becomes a problem. But LCA is a private school in the public sector, and so I think that if they're going to continue to be in it, that they have to play under the same rules, because it doesn't make sense to have actually an unfair
No,
advantage.
that's actually. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
And so that's just something that I was just sitting here thinking about that. I'm like, a lot of teams have been kind of nickeling and diming, but I think as it's going on, it has just become too much, and now we have to start to just crack down. But it has made for interesting teams. It has made for teams. I don't think anybody is getting too stacked off of the transfers, but I just think that it would just be, the playing field would be a lot more even if some transfers are actual. Some kids are moving, yes. Some kids, they're not. It's circumstantial is what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
But overall, what I'm saying is just wiggling around the rules, and so I think the VHSL will just be looking to see what's actual and what's not real. What are you trying to are you trying to get an illegal advantage, or are you is this really like this student needed to be here? So that's my take on that.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely have to talk about that. LCA being in a 3A.
Yeah.
And just like, and then that's a 3A, the classification, that's a very low numbers for a school, and they can be able, that's a huge disadvantage. At least put LCA in class 6 or something like that, so they can be able to compete, with big numbers. And just the disadvantage of having to grab any kid they want to,
no problem,
is with no jurisdiction.
Well, VHSL basing it off of enrollment, right?
Yeah, based off of
Well,
enrollment.
and I don't know personally. I don't know if there are any parameters on LCA. If they can recruit like a private school, then
Yeah,
absolutely can.
Yeah, that would be insane to even have that rule put in place with LCA right there. Yeah, have to be in place for everyone, including them. Even like I said, it's not even just football with them; it's basketball, soccer, everything, all sports. So that wouldn't really even be it wouldn't be fair at all. And with everything else, I mean, with this new rule, I do see JV. JV was like a dying kind of like all their sports are dying. Like no one was really participating in JV anymore. It's like varsity was doing this
some
thing.
can't even field teams.
Yeah, some of them can't even put out teams. There's a lot of teams I know in Peninsula District, and like some schools who can't put out a JV.
Yeah,
So
soccer,
that would
baseball.
definitely be it'll be good too. That'd be beneficial too with the new rule, having a JV in there, be able to get numbers actually. So yeah, make that fair. But it's another problem I would see with the new rule. Honestly, with that one new rule, like with some kids, it's some varsity schools who couldn't field teams. It was actually one in Virginia Beach. What was it, Princess Anne? They was having a hard time.
That's true. Yeah, I know that's true. They I know they had to forfeit at least one game because they couldn't have enough players.
Green Run. So as a kid stuck in that situation, what do you tell them they have to stay there even though they have 18 players on their team? I don't. It's just
I'm glad. I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah. What do you do if your team doesn't have football and you're a football player?
You start season.
Absolutely. But that's probably extenuating circumstances.
There we
referring
go.
To.
Waivers.
So can they go to a green run or can they go to a Bayside or a neighboring district? I think that's great. And maybe there is a rule in place for that. I don't know it, but you're right. I mean, I think that's a really good point. And again, again, the last thing I want to do is go to a practice with a camera and have somebody be like, "Get out of here," because you are slamming trans. I'm not. No. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong. I also came up in, I was in high school in the late 90s, right? So this really wasn't a thing, at least in Pennsylvania where I was. Or if it was, I had the wool totally pulled over my eyes. I don't know. There are convincing, reasonable arguments on both sides.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just, and that's a really good, that's a really good like peg for the transfer mark. You know what I mean? So what do you do if your school doesn't have football?
Yeah, see, that's the big question. And then another one, people are just going to start moving their kids to the zone area after 7th grade. So that's another thing that's going to happen too. They're just going to move out when they know they're going to 8th grade. All right, let's move to the school. All right, the high school. Let's just move to that area. Let you go to that middle school for 8th grade. That'll just solve that. That'll just kill that problem too.
It will, but that's easier said than done.
It is.
For sure. Right?
I think moving hard.
I think the moving stinks, whether you're doing it across the street or across the country. You guys moved recently, Lord. But no, in all seriousness, that's kind of what I think has to be the ultimate decider. Where do you live, right? Mm-hmm. Because where you live, determines a large portion of your tax dollars go to your local schools, and like I said before, I mean, it's just I think you have to look beyond the scope of football when you're thinking about these rules and what you're letting people do. But again, everybody has good reasons for both arguments.
Really good reasons. Just listening to that one right there, that would be actually right in the fix. I think what VHSL would want essentially. I mean, if they're moving to 7th grade, they attend 8th grade in that area. I believe once they become that star in their senior year, nobody's gonna. I don't really think nobody's gonna look back and be like, before 7th grade, he practiced.
See that tackle he made on exactly.
Or he practiced with he just weightlifted one time with Armstrong or whatever that looks like. So I mean, again, and give or take what that story looks like, I think that's what VHSL wants to happen. And then for me, if they do start to do that, then to me, we have no argument really.
Yeah,
there's no.
There. It will be 4-year players at that moment.
5, 6. At that point,
it actually would help the transfer problem actually, and they're moving to the zone of the school in 8th grade. You wouldn't have transfer problem.
Well, here's the other thing too, and we touched on this this topic came up a couple episodes ago too, and we touched on this. How much of this, if you talk to the successful programs, right? Successful, easy for me to say. A lot of them will say, "Hey, we get our kids going in our youth program. Then they're coming up through middle school and JV, running our systems, knowing our plays, everything like that." So some of this, I think, falls on the school systems and the teams themselves. I mean, there are some coaches. You look at your programs that are just so good, and that starts before they get to high school, right? And I think that should be. It's unrealistic to say everybody will do it, but that needs to be the goal, right? I mean, the goal needs to be, hey, we're going to try to implement, and build success from well before they get to high school.
It'll start.
Because, if you look at, Highland Springs, Maury, Oscar Smith, Phoebus, all these teams are getting those kids ready before they set foot on a varsity field.
Because Oscar Smith and Kings Ford Middle are, the most dominant middle schools in the area. So I do think that helps a lot too, starting in middle school. So it's going to be a lot of high school coaches at middle school and youth games, and also with Hayfield. Well, they're St. John's now. They even have a youth organization that their players came through PME. Yeah, they were a real dominant youth organization too, and most of their kids that came from up there, went to Freedom and now are in college. So
right.
I mean, it will help a development standpoint too.
And it's a circumstances type of thing too. When you talk about like the resources that are offered in those different spaces,
right?
Like when you talk about Hampton, you got 4 schools that share the same stadium, same thing in Newport News.
Yep.
So as far as when you talk about those PD schools, they're not really blessed to have a middle school or a junior, a junior high for them, themselves to call where they can have those that development and have that pipeline of players.
Yeah.
While there are neighboring youth organizations in the area, that's where the transfer energy starts.
Yes.
Right. So while those kids probably just play for that youth team, you got youth teams in Hampton and the kid lives in Norfolk, and that's there's no regulations on that. But
true.
That's where it starts. So,
let's touch on something else too. Football is one of the few sports that doesn't have travel. Or like AAU, right?
Right.
Once you get to that level. So, our son's in travel baseball. AAU basketball is very popular. There isn't that football, we've talked about the transfer through a football scope. And maybe because one of the reasons we're doing that so much is because they have these less opportunities in terms of like, if you do a travel baseball or basketball tournament, you might play 6 games in a week.
A little bit more.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Whereas football, you don't have that opportunity. So it's kind of a different beast in that regard. I interrupted you, and I apologize.
It's down to those resources and the circumstances in which they stand in those different areas. While I'm not, trying to point out that PD teams or any other team that has, don't necessarily have those resources. I'm not saying that they're necessarily less fortunate, but they just have to be more. Strategic in how we get things done, as it's been getting done in that area for some time. It's just a little tougher when we look at those things. So when we talk about those things that add on to a list of the reasons why you may have to move on to another school, and what those circumstances are that may pull you towards another organization, or maybe even across the water. Those are personal reasons, and I'm pretty sure the VHSL can do as much as they can to put it in black and white or what these guidelines are. But no matter how much we custom tailor it, it's not going to fit these specific circumstances, resources that are grabbing these athletes or whatever that looks like. So a lot of this information is going to be general, and how we going to generally follow it as a state, not just in the organization, but just as a state, or as as being a part of VHSL. So that's what raises the the question for it, really, is just the specifics.
Yeah, and honestly, the reason we talk about football so much is because football is the reason why this rule even is
polarizing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Basketball is just as bad, maybe just worse. So with transfers, no one really noticed.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. That's 60% of the team.
Yep. And then it's just maybe worse. It's worse. And like I've seen. New basketball teams, like they win, and then a whole new they have a new starting 5 that's good, and they look just as good as the last one, maybe even better. But and another thing with this transfer rule, classifications might actually look like how they're supposed to look. Like a Class 6 school, the team might start looking way bigger than the Class 3 school, and the Class 2 school is going to look way less than the Class 4 school or Class 5. So that'll help that also. I remember first year Sports Blog 2021 when Phoebus played Oscar Smith. I know that was still mid-transfer. I don't even think transfers was that crazy at the time. I think they got that crazy like maybe after that year. But I remember Oscar Smith's sideline was way deeper than Phoebus' sideline, and Oscar Smith had players with 2 jersey numbers. Like they had two players with number 2 or 2 players with number 3.
Right.
And they just outnumbered Phoebus on both sides. So that will definitely be a big problem in the future. Like you're really gonna have to play schools where you're gonna have more players and more depth. Now, like a Class 6 school and a Class 3 school playing each other, like Class 4 might. Unless you have the talent, they might not last the whole 4 quarters.
Well, and especially I think you're right. I think the enrollment plays a part in that because bigger student body, you have more to pull from, right? But yeah, it's funny you say that. I remember when I was in Richmond, when Manchester played George Wythe. George Wythe had maybe 11 players total.
That's
you know, I
crazy.
mean, it's something. But again, when you talk about resources and everything like that, then that all of a sudden goes beyond the VHSL scope and goes into school funding,
Everything.
taxes, everything. So when you look at things like that, I mean, that's beyond anything that we have anything to do with. so multiple areas go into the reasons behind these things and everything like that. But it's a debate that I'm sure will rage on as long as high school sports are played, and no doubt at all.
One of my last things for me, y'all all just kind of hit on it. I think what this will do is last week we was at the Newport News Newport News Middle School Championship. We saw how many high school coaches there. As the cities start to get these the feeder programs in middle school, like Nansen River has a Colonel Cherry, Oscar Smith has its own middle school, Kings Fork has Kings Fork Middle. The need for having to go out to get those other transfers other places becomes null and void. So then you have those programs that's already been playing with your coaches to kind of come up and filter through those programs. But I think Hampton doesn't have middle school football yet. I don't think Norfolk has middle school football yet. As that becomes something that as we start to align and maybe we'll see the different cities playing each other. But that's just something that, with the reiteration of the rules, because they're not necessarily new, right? But putting a clamp down on it, it's actually going to affect community, I think, a little bit more than we can actually see even right now. And that's just something like to be excited to look forward to, because then it's like, it becomes a need now, and so like we're gonna need these programs to be able to help build the championship programs, help to build the ones that are up and coming, the Booker T's, the Noah Views, whatever it is. It's just it's just, I think it can be good for the area, and these rules have always been in effect, so it's not like it's something new. I think we'll see coaches depend a little less on the transfers, and actually it's going to look different. They're going to have to, you're going to have to instill your system. You're going to have the players that are going to listen to you, and they're going to have to adapt. Adaptation is something that, with being able to leave and go wherever you want, seemingly, is not something that students, young men and young women have really had to do, because they're free to just move if they just have a disagreement or they face some adversity. And I just think that it's some life lessons in this too. It's like, I didn't really look at it like that, but we're young, and this is the most pivotal times. Excuse me, they're young, and it's the most pivotal times of I'm trying to be, it's the most pivotal times, to learn these lessons. And so, this is just another way in which they'll have the opportunity to learn them. So,
and really, really, really quick. I mean, you said a really good word. Understanding that when they're moving, I mean, you move into a new house, you get a new job, anything like that, you have to You have to adapt, and that's easier said than done. 100%. And it's a lot easier for others, and harder for people. Harder for others as well. So when they're coming in there, and by the way, it's a God-given gift. It's a blessing that these some schools that have middle schools are able to do this, but they're able to farm it. It's building that culture we talked about last week. That's really, really important as well. That culture switch, and that's another thing you can add to the list that will pull a kid somewhere. They see the aggressiveness or how they are behind the kids, or maybe you can just literally physically see that the school is football or sports is important to the school.
People want to be a part of that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's that culture switch, and that's what'll lead to a kid being at a school for maybe 2 to 3 years, maybe not getting any play time at all, and then finally understand that maybe, hey, it's an opportunity for me elsewhere to do X, Y, and Z, or whatever that looks like. So again, it's about adapting, and what do you adapt to? Again, it's for these schools to have the opportunity to build the culture, the inviting culture that you can adapt to. And I just think that the schools that have these younger organizations that are tied to them, not necessarily can go every which way, but they know where they were going. I knew what high school I was playing for when I was 6 years old. you know, if that starts to become a thing, I can see it, you know, working out in a lot of people's favor.
Yeah.
As far as the kids, for sure, it becomes more inviting. And as far as the schools as well, there's a lot of them that are working hard at it. It gives them the time to really establish that culture that they want to invite them to, and you know, start to really rewrite this thing for the whatever, you know, organization or school that applies to. If you don't already have one, which many schools do, if you don't already have one, you can really, you know, rewrite that thing, kind of like Coach Vic over at
opportunities to do so.
At Norfolk State. So you know, it's a good thing, you know, for both sides. You just have to meet in the middle with it, if it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a debate that I'm sure, like I said, will continue as long as there's high school sports. And I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have thoughts too. And if you're watching this, you definitely will let us know in the comments, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Comments, messages, it'll be something. I'll hear from some people.
Yeah, no doubt at all. But guys, thanks very much. Key, Drew, Dom, I'm just Mark. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
Thank you.